Okay. All right, we're going to start with a lateral hamstring stretch in the standing position. And we'll start with the leg behind us. So have a chair nearby for balance. I'm going to step my left foot back, bend both knees comfortably, and that back foot or back leg is going to turn out slightly. So this is the target leg right here. We're going to press that leg back. Square those hips. Keep pressing that leg back as we fold forward and then relax on the way up. You want to keep those hips where they are so you can create resistance in this lateral hamstring. You can soften your back foot, let the weight of your body sink down into the ground, and then push back. Feel the engagement in the back of your leg. And then as you fold forward, keep your head up and then let it go on the way back. So keep those ribs in. Keep your head up, resist, and let it go. This is the bladder muscle group, the back outside of the leg. And depending on how much your leg is turned out, you might feel as though the leg wants to rotate inward, which is fine. It naturally wants to do that. Breathe in and out through our nose. You reposition your front foot as you need to. Resist in the standing position. Keep resisting, and let it go. You can feel what's going on in your hamstring with your hand here. Let's do a couple more. Okay. All right, shake it out, see what you notice. And we'll do the other side. Softer foot, softer shoulder. Okay, so the target leg, we're going to take a step back, okay? Legs turned out a little bit, soft knees, bend your knees, and press that leg back. And keep the resistive force as you start to stretch. This is a nice way to stretch your lateral hamstring because since it's behind us, we get it to start in the shortest position we can, actually. And that's ultimately what we want our muscles to be able to do, to be there for us when we need them to contract and shorten. Let it go. Resist in the start, square your hips, keep those ribs in. And you can notice the difference from one side to the other, the ability of the muscle to contract, how your foot's interfacing with the floor might be different. Stay with it, and it's okay that you don't feel the stretch in the hamstring. Do you feel your foot pressing back? You might feel your front leg giving a good effort and tiring a little bit because that's pressing forward and creating the oppositional force, creating the ability for the back leg to resist. Stay with it. Resist continually through your stretch. Because a lot of times we get into the rhythm of the repetitions and then we initiate the stretch and we resist, but we don't continually resist through the movement. So you're actively pushing back, and then you can feel that the resistance isn't actually increasing, it's maintaining. But that's a natural way to do it, where you just initiate and then go through the movement with the resistance kind of naturally waning. But we want to continue to press that leg back, It's a lot to ask, and we don't do it every rep, but you want to remember every once in a while. Okay, all right, shake that out. See what happened for you? Now, bladder's with the leg in front of us. Okay, so we'll take a step forward with that left leg, bend your knees, turn the leg out a bit, and pull the heel back. Pull the heel back while we fold forward. Breathing in and out through our nose. Keeping a bend in that front knee. Now, someone had mentioned their heel hurts. You can leave your foot flat on the ground and just pull your foot back, and you'll still be working the same muscle. It'll just be different force, a different part of the muscle firing back. Generally, we want to find the path of greatest resistance and maintain that. Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. Pull the heel back, square your hips, tuck your tailbone at the start, keep those ribs in, and then as we fold, we're folding forward, keeping our head up. Okay, let's switch it up, shake it out. See what you notice, where your attention goes after you do a set of stretches. And now let's take a step forward with the right leg. Bend in both knees, pull your heel back, pull your heel back. Stay with it, stay with that resistive force. Breathing in and out through your nose. So generally, we know the muscle group we're stretching, so we can focus on that. And then we have the heel pulling back for the resistance, and we're focusing on the resistance. And then where does your attention go? Stay with it, stay with that resistance. Okay, all right, shake that out a little bit. And now let's do a double set of livers, the inside of our legs, a little wider than shoulder width, feet are turned out, knees are bent. And now we're going to squeeze the balls of our feet together, keeping our feet flat on the ground as we fold forward and then relax on the way up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze together. Now, you don't want the heels involved squeezing together. We did that yesterday where we stretched the medial hamstring. You want to stretch the adductors. You want to include, a yin muscle group in the lower body and the upper body as we go after this tough tissue on the back of the body. So the target are the adductors. You can put your hands there, squeeze, squeeze the balls of your feet, without letting your feet turn in or your knees turn in. And then your feet want to be on an angle, usually out. Ribs up, squeeze together and let it go. So this is the liver meridian. This helps to improve the health of your tendons throughout your body and all the functions that the liver provides us. Squeeze, squeeze. It's associated with our eyesight, helping to process and eliminate all the toxins in our body. Let's do a few more. Breathing in and out through your nose. You might notice how the breathing pattern changed considerably from bladder to liver. All the stretches are like that. They all have their own individual breathing pattern. Okay, all right, shake that out. Nice, that's a nice stretch for your sacrum. You can probably feel some space back there. Now, we're going back to the hamstrings, and this is a new stretch that we're doing this week. Ready, set, go backwards. I mean, we've done it before. So, ready, set, go backwards. The leg that you're stretching is going to be in front, so the helper leg is going to go back, okay? As if you're starting a race. And then ready, set, go backwards. So the target leg, the hips, are going to move back in space, and then you're going to relax coming forward. I'm leaving my foot pretty much straight ahead because in this position, you're mostly getting the bladder. So if you have a problem getting down that far, put your hand on a chair and then just sit these hips back and feel like your belt line is getting pulled up back here as you move back, keeping a bend in this knee, and you're going to get a stretch in this hamstring. So the back leg, what's the back leg doing? It's bending forward. And a nice cue to think about are your hips staying square going back. Because there's a tendency for the hips to go back and toward the leg you're stretching. Keep the hips square, keep those ribs up, and you'll get a really nice stretch in this hamstring. Starting position with your knee over your foot. Let it go. So this is an end range stretch, right? We have this hamstring lengthened pretty much as far as we can go. Let it go. Now you can pull the heel back as you go back. Or you can tense the leg, like, make a muscle literally in your whole thigh as you go back, and then let it go. Stay with it. Let's do a couple more. This is a challenging bladder stretch, hamstring stretch. Okay. All right, shake that out a little bit. Nice change, really open chest and shoulders, open hip. Really, really nice deep breaths. So let's do the other side. This is, we call it ready, set, go backwards. So I'll do the other leg. So you want to get your helper leg behind you and create enough width so that you can balance yourself. And then go back for the stretch, relax coming forward. So again, this is primarily the lateral hamstring in this position. The bladder regulates the movement of our diaphragm, which I was just reminded after doing a set on the left leg. How when that bladder's firing nicely and shortening, your diaphragm can come down further for deeper breaths. It's great for singing. Let it go. So 2 ways to resist. Simply make a muscle in your whole leg as you go back, and you can pull your heel back as you go back. Breathing in and out through your nose. Keep those ribs up. Keep those hips square as you go back. Stay with it. We'll do a couple more. And I find this position, as all end range positions, really exposes the asymmetries. Okay. All right. Shake that out a little bit. Now, let's do small intestine, top back of the shoulders. Palms together, elbows high and wide. Press those palms together as we draw our elbows together. And we're stretching these muscles, the top, back, shoulders. So when you bring your elbows wide, sort of kind of retract them and feel like they want to touch each other in the back to get a nice shortened position. Bend those knees, level that pelvis. Press those palms together. Keep pressing those palms together. Breathing in and out through our nose. Stay with it, stay with it. Focusing on the muscle group, right? Focusing on those muscles on the top back of our shoulder. Focusing on the resistance, pressing those hands together. I'm primarily pressing those palms together. Great stretch to help with the digestion of proteins. It's associated with depression, creativity, intensity. You can feel the intensity while you do these stretches. And again, another breathing pattern that's different than the liver and the bladder. Okay. Shake it out, wide open chest. Those muscles can shorten really nice on the back. Now, another set of ready, set, go backwards. We're going after this tough tissue here. I want to get a little change, so put that helper leg behind us, back like we're ready to start a race. And then as we stretch, we sit our hips back. Right? We sit our hips back. And those small intestines help to give us a little space in our upper body. You feel a lightness up here that makes this stretch even better. So come fully forward. Keep a bend in that knee and keep those hips square as you go back. And you can feel what's going on in your hamstring. Even though we're in end range and it's tight at the start, you can feel, get those fingers in there and feel that muscle engage and lengthen as we go back. Breathing in and out through our nose. You can bend your knee a little more. You can change the angle at which we stretch. Okay. All right, shake it out. Looser. I can feel the rotation of the leg in relation to the hip and the torso. Okay, see what you notice. And let's do the other leg. So get the leg back, the helper leg back. Get down your hand on a chair or on the mat or on a yoga block. And sit back for the stretch. And changing the angle of your knee will change where you feel the stretch, but for some people may change the force that you generate. If it's too straight, it might be going, mostly in your calf. If you bend it a little more and get your hips back square, it might be a better stretch for you. And also see where your hips are going. If you're going back and you're getting pushed to the left, then go back and keep it straight and not get pushed to the left. And likewise, if you're going back naturally and going to the right, then counter that. These little movements that you counter will help to create really nice resistive forces and changes in the tissue. Okay. All right, shake that out. Now, we can do some small intestine at the wall, or if you're familiar with small intestine on the floor, we're going to do single arms. I'll show you how to do it at the wall. Again, the back of your arm, maybe the forearm or the back of your arm or elbow right in there. Elbows below your shoulder. Chest is open, press back into the wall, and turn toward the wall. And then relax. Press the arm back into the wall, keep those ribs in. Keep pressing back into the wall and turn in toward the wall. And then we're stretching back up in here. On the mat, forearm down, palm up, lean forward, pull the arm back, and sit back. Your arm can be straight ahead. You could turn it out a little bit. You can turn it in a little bit. But you want that arm down. Start with your body over your forearm. Pull back, pull back, pull back. And relax as you come forward. In both cases, you want to keep those ribs up off your, from going down toward the ground or protruding out of your torso. Stay with it, stay with it. Breathing in and out through our nose. So my whole forearm's down. Sometimes people like to use the elbow to use the force, or you can press the whole forearm down. And as you go back, you can go back straight. You can go back and a little to the left if you're stretching your left arm. Okay, shake it out, check the two arms and shoulders out and see what you notice. Neck, really nice and open on that side. So see what happened, and let's do the other side. Put our forearm down, palm up, pull back, and sit back, keeping the ribs up in our body. Staying with the resistance, staying with the resistance. Sometimes when you have too much sensation in the muscle group, that might be an indication that you need to resist a little more. And then that would have you do a little less range. The more you resist, the less range you'll have, but the bigger changes you'll get. All the moves want to happen. Stay with it, keep those ribs up. Where is your attention going? Okay. All right, shake that out. And that evened us out a little bit. Let's do a set of thymus, okay? Shoulders, traps in the back of the neck for our immune system. And tuck our toes under. Forearms down, palms up, sitting back to begin the stretch, and drive the arms forward. Drive the arms forward. As we move forward, keeping those ribs up. You can arch up like a cat. You can put your feet back against the wall. And then in the standing or seated, you can do singles. Right, you start your arm up, palm facing you, and pull down against resistance. Relax on the way up. Help your arm actually on the way up. Or on a tabletop where you can press down and forward. Press down and forward and move forward. Press down and forward, keeping those ribs up. It's helpful maybe to have a yoga mat on your tabletop. So keep breathing in and out through your nose. Let's do a few more. Stay with it. Arm dominant stretch, so the arms want to lead the way and stay engaged the entire time. Okay. All right. See how you feel. Keep breathing in and out through your nose. See what you notice. Really warm torso. Thymus gland right here is really hot. Good stretching with you today.